Gambit is arguably one of the most underrated members of the X-Men, and after 10 years since Channing Tatum was cast, he's finally gotten a chance to suit up as the character in Deadpool and Wolverine. So in this video, we're going to dive into just how powerful Gambit really is. Gambit's mutation allows him to convert the potential energy in an object to kinetic energy, causing it to become explosive. He typically uses playing cards to charge and use as throwing projectiles that explode. The objects he can charge vary from different sizes, and the magnitude of the explosions usually depend on the mass of the object. The only real limitation is the time it takes to charge an object, which also depends on the size. Now, on the surface, it might seem like Gambit can just blow stuff up, but he can do much more than that, and his powers are very versatile. On top of charging the kinetic energy in objects and making them explode, Gambit can consciously delay the explosion for as long as he chooses. He can even use his playing cards to cut through objects as tough as steel. Instead of explosions, Gambit can also cause disintegration through physical contact, and he can transfer this ability to other objects, like his bow staff, for example. As Apocalypse's Horseman of Death, Gambit could mentally guide his playing cards after charging and causing them to disintegrate the targets on impact. Gambit can use his charging ability to physically enhance himself, affecting his strength, speed, and reflexes. This makes him fast enough to block bullets with his bow staff. He even once caught a bullet with his teeth and sent it back charged, causing an explosion. Gambit was also fast enough to not only spot a sniper bullet from a distance, but he was fast enough to stop it just before impact. Enhancing his reflexes makes Gambit an expert in close quarter combat, as well as being agile when it comes to getting in and out of places, which makes him a very skilled thief. By increasing his strength and coupled with his explosive capabilities, Gambit is strong enough to knock back powerful beings like Gladiator, who I would argue is a Superman level character in the Marvel Universe. The magnitude of his explosions are even powerful enough to destroy enemies way larger than himself. An example of this is when he destroyed the Tri-Sentinel in X-Men 97. Since Gambit essentially has all his kinetic energy in his body, it generates a static field, which makes it hard to read his mind. However, powerful telepaths like the Professor can do it, but he stated that due to Gambit's powers, it's difficult to do so. He can even use his charging powers to heal himself. He's been able to heal large wounds to the chest after getting stabbed. Now, to give you guys a better perspective of the scale of Gambit's powers, Gambit once encountered an alternate version of himself called New Sun. New Sun had the same powers as Gambit, but he had far more control over them, to the point where he could manipulate kinetic energy at the molecular level. New Sun could use kinetic energy to burn, fire energy blasts, create charged explosions in the line of sight without making physical contact, and even defy gravity. New Sun could also manipulate the kinetic energy in other beings and prevent them from moving, as well as controlling the flow of space and time, which he uses to open portals. It's also worth mentioning that New Sun became so powerful that according to him, he killed the Phoenix from his universe. And the icing on the cake is that New Sun once lost control of his powers, which led to the destruction of his Earth. I'm going to repeat that for you guys. An alternate version of Gambit with the same powers destroyed a planet. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, why can't Gambit be this powerful?
Good question.
Gambit once had the potential to become as powerful as New Sun. See, before he joined the X-Men, Gambit started to lose control of his powers. So in exchange for working for Mr. Sinister, he had him remove some of his brain tissue, which essentially nerfed his powers to the state they're in now. However, Gambit was able to temporarily access his full powers thanks to Mr. Sinister in order to battle New Sun, after he discovered that his true plan was to kill all the alternate versions of Gambit, since he feared that they too would lose control of their powers and destroy their Earth like he did his. So with Gambit's powers being at the same level as New Sun's, he was able to defeat him, of course, but doing so actually burned out his powers and returned them back to their normal state. So with that being said, it's pretty clear that if Gambit were to have full access to his powers, he could easily be classed as an Omega level mutant. But if he were to ever lose control of them, something like this could happen. So it's best that he just stay the way he is now. But that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.